Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna be ranking all the Nirvana albums, all the studio releases at least, okay? As you can see, there's only 5 of them. So this video is not gonna be that long or boring. At least I hope so. But before I begin, if you happen to like this video, please consider subscribing. I'm a small channel. I would like to hit 1K subs. And maybe, just maybe, my dad will come back and finally love me. Anyway, I'm thinking I want to do this in a different way. I kind of just want to place them in the ranks and then explain exactly why they're at that rank. Because I'm going to place some higher than others, even though some might be deserving a higher rank. But I want to create a contrast between the albums, you know what I mean? Let's start with Bleach. Bleach is a B. Bleach for Bleach. Nevermind. Nevermind is an A for there's a baby swimming in the cover in it. Actually, I heard that baby was suing Geffen Records. Not the baby itself. I mean when he grew up, you know, he's like a full-blown man now, and he's suing somebody. Maybe Kearney. I hope it's Kearney. I think Geffen, the record label. Probably because, you know, he didn't consent to show his baby penis in it. I don't know why. Honestly, I didn't keep up with the lawsuit. But yeah, Nevermind's an A. Incesticide, it's not enough. It's not bad enough to give it a D, though. I'll give it a C. In Utero, bam, baby. And Unplugged, you know what? I'll save Unplugged for last. I'll actually do that the normal way. Okay, let's start here. Bleach and B. Why? I've noticed that a lot of people like Bleach. I think if you're looking like for harder rock, you would prefer Bleach. For me, Bleach is like when they were playing that grunge that was more similar to metal. It wasn't like grunge that was more alternative. It was grunge that sounded more metal. My personal favorite song from Bleach is Downer. I love Downer. I love that song. But Bleach also has about a girl, which is like a very like poppy, almost romantic kind of tune, and it's in Bleach, and it sounds like it would be a Nevermind song, honestly, or even an Inutero song. It's like a song that seems like a little bit further ahead of its time than all the stuff in Bleach. Bleach also has Cool, which is a really cool song. It's very energetic. And one thing that I would say is B, right? Because I think that Nevermind is a slightly better album in terms of like consistency, right? Because I like Bleach, but like in terms of diversity, it pales a little in comparison to Nevermind. So since Nevermind is better, I need a way to set it apart. You know what I mean? So that's why I think Nevermind is an A. Now Nevermind itself, it's a great album, honestly. My favorite track from Nevermind would be Lounge Act, followed by Drain You, Territorial Piecings, and then maybe On a Plane. All the big hits, like Smell Like Teen Spirit, Come As You Are, Lithium, I find them the most boring. Lithium is a song that I never really liked that much. It's a fine song and everything, but it never really did much for me. Come As You Are, I like a little bit more. Smell Like Teen Spirit, obviously, it's a great song, but once you listen to Nirvana a lot, it's one of their most played out songs. And you never really once you really become a fan of a band, you can often get a little bit of disdain if they're known mainly for their most popular song, which would be Smell Like Teen Spirit. It's not that the song is bad itself, but like you want people to see way beyond that. And when they're known just for that popular hit, I don't know, you can grow a little bit of disdain towards it. Maybe that's just me. Now, like I said, in contrast with Bleach, I think Nevermind runs a lot better than Bleach. It's a way more consistent album. It's a way more diverse album in terms of like songs. Yeah, Polly. I think Polly is in Nevermind. Yeah, I think that's my least favorite song in Nevermind. But like I said, it's very diverse. One song could be like very energetic, like Breathe, right? And it can switch up to Polly, and it can switch up to Lounge Act. You know, it could switch up to Drain You, and they all sound similar in a way, but very different. It's not like Bleach, where they all sound more similar. And Nevermind, like I said, which is more alternative, I think it's more alternative grunge than metal grunge, right? I think it's more diverse. Maybe it's a personal thing, but I think the song and the quality, but I think the catalog of songs in Nevermind is way more diverse, way more consistent than in Bleach. I'll say this though. I think Bleach is a more endearing album because it really captures early Nirvana, right? Nevermind catches mid Nirvana, like when Nirvana really got popular, right? And in a way, even though it's more diverse, it's more predictable in the sense that you can kind of get that's gonna be the Nirvana sound from then forward. But with Bleach, I find it more endearing because it was early Nirvana, and it has like a totally different type of sound. Then we have their third album, In Utero, which is obviously an S. I did a previous video which I said the best Nirvana song is Milk It, and I stand by it. It's probably the best song in Utero, which is saying a lot because In Utero is full of great songs. Aside from Milk It, I really like Francis Farmer. I really like Tourette's, Barry Ape, Serve the Servants. My least favorite would probably be Pennyroyal Tea. Heart Shaped Box. I mean, Heart Shaped Box has a great video, and it actually took me a little bit of time to warm up to Heart Shaped Box because it never really wowed me. Nowadays, I like it more, but it's still one of like the ones that I like the least. Now, in terms of production value, I think In Utero is just amazing. The drums in this album sound amazing. If I'm not mistaken, it's produced by Steve Albini, who produced Surfer Rosa by the Pixies. And if I'm not mistaken, that's exactly the kind of sound that Kurt was looking for, because in Surfer Rosa, the drums are very booming. They sound amazing. And in Utero, they have that quality too, where the drums sound really in your face. That's why Milk It has such great drumming, and it sounds so good, right? I think In Utero has Dumb in it, right? Or is it Nevermind? Dumb is a great track too. But yeah, one thing that I really like about In Utero is because at one point I had a physical copy of it, you know what I mean? And once you look at that angel with his guts hanging out, and you look at the back of the CD, and it has like a bunch of little baby dolls, and has like a collage which is very pink. The cool thing about In Utero is that the artwork really kind of reflects the sound that is inside the album. That's something that I don't really feel from other Nirvana albums. But when it comes to like In Utero, the whole concept of the album I think was very well executed. And the whole concept of the album has to do with the artwork. It also has to do with the lyrics in the whole album. Not in the whole album, but in a lot of songs of it. You know what I mean? It ties into like the bodily functions, to your organs, to the inner workings of your body. You know, it's like to the reproductive organs of women. It's also tied to the reproductive organs of, like you see, it's a female angel. So yeah, concept wise, it really nails the concept, and songs wise, it's amazing. I think it's the most evolved out of all the albums in terms of like their stuff. But yeah, for me personally, it's S tier. It has the most creative songs, in my opinion. It's Nirvana doing their Nirvana thing, but taking it to the next level in a way, while still sounding familiar. Yeah, it's a very cool album, honestly. For me, it's definitely S tier. And then we have Incesticide, right? I don't know much about the history of the production of it, but for me, it sounds like it's an album of songs that were astray, that were scattered, and didn't really have a place to be. And it also has a few covers in it. And it's also an album that's really kind of hard to identify its main sound, you know what I mean? Because it seems like it switches it up from the Bleach era to the Nevermind era. It seems like it's in between those. And it also has like a couple of weird songs that I really like. I think Sliver is on Incesticide, which is a song that I really like from Nirvana. I think it also has Aero Zeppelin, which is one of my favorite Nirvana songs because it's so weird. Let me tell you something. If Incesticide had Curmudgeon, and it also had Verse Chorus Verse, or Sappy, or whichever ways you want to call it, or Everything and Nothing, I would rate it in a B. Honestly, just with those two songs, it would be enough to propel it up to a B. But Incesticide has a couple of songs that I think are covers. I'm not really sure if they're originals, but they just make me cringe. Like Span Through makes me cringe, bro. And Molly Slips is a little bit better, but... And Molly Slips, I think it's actually a cover. I can't remember from which band, but I know it's a cover. So yeah, Incesticide for me, it's like a collection of like oddities or like rarities. I would put it in C. Just again to make a contrast between Bleach and Incesticide, to show that Bleach is actually better than Incesticide in my opinion. So now we get to the Unplugged. And I'm gonna rate the Unplugged an A. Because honestly I just don't think it's as good, or it's in the level playing field as In Utero. However, I would say it's on par with Nevermind, or maybe slightly even better. Because the thing about the Unplugged is, you gotta remember that at the time, Nirvana was mainly known as like a hard rock band. In a way, they were presented as this grunge band for the new generation, which is the new grunge Generation X. We're all losers, right? Was full of sarcasm. Everybody called themselves a loser, and nobody thought they were a loser. They were actually thought they were above everything, right? And Nirvana was kind of painted like this band that could only exist in that medium, in that hard rock medium. And when they came in with the Unplugged, and everything was stripped down, all the power drumming from Dave was stripped down, and it mainly focused on the string sections. And they did such a good job with it. They knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. And the great thing about this album for me, it's not actually their original songs, it's their cover songs. The songs that they have with the Meat Puppets are probably my favorite among the album. Like Plateau and Lake of Fire. Come on, bro, those songs are amazing. Holy Ghost and talk show hosts are buried in the sand. Bro, those songs are so good. And Kurt did such an amazing performance of those songs. And then obviously you have The Man Who Sold the World, which for the longest time was my favorite song actually from this album. Again, my mind has changed into thinking it's probably Lake of Fire. But for the longest time, it was The Man Who Sold the World. But I kind of played it out a little bit too much, so it doesn't, impresses me that much. But I still think it has such a groovy vibe, especially in the bass. Boom, 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 boom. They really nailed that song, honestly. And that version of That Man Who Sold the World, I actually prefer it over the original. This album is like, I don't want to say it's country, but it kind of has like that folk kind of country kind of vibe to it. And it's really cool. It's really different from Nirvana. But yeah, I would still say it falls short to In Utero. And bro, literally I just had a deja vu moment. Like I've done this before in the past. And I'm pretty sure I've never done this in the past. This is very strange. But anyway, what do you think of my ranking? Do you have a different one? If so, post them in the comments. I think people that are going to watch this kind of video are going to be Nirvana fans. Since we're all Nirvana fans here, I don't really mind when people disagree with me. It's very interesting to see, how people's taste, personal taste, plays into this. So yeah, let me know what would be your own personal ranking on this album in the comments. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. So I'll see you guys later.